Hi, this is Kimberly from Are You Awakening? I haven't been on in a while. Been creating lots of art, doing the Tipsy Mystics podcast with Miranda, and thought I would drop in for a quick video. And I wanted to talk to you today about pinning the tail on the donkey. I have no idea where that game came from, like who was the first person to say, hey, let's put a picture of a donkey's ass up on the wall. Let's blindfold kids, give them something sharp with a tail attached to it, and let them go at it while they're dizzy. Anyway, it's perfect. It's a perfect analogy for what I want to talk about today. And although I do believe that asses do get kind of a bad rap, I mean donkey asses, this one kind of makes sense. So the pin the tail on the donkey analogy here, I'm referring to making assumptions, right? So you might have heard when you were a kid that don't assume anything because it makes an ass of you and me, right? So we'll continue with that analogy, and I want you to consider there's an ass up on the wall, and that ass has basically one really good place to pin the tail that's going to be okay on the donkey, and all of the other options are wrong. All right, now when you're talking about an assumption, so let's say you are visualizing something and you are looking for the best possible outcome that you can think of, right? If you're going to visualize, you may as well focus on the stuff that you want versus the stuff that you don't. So let's say you've had kind of a run-in with someone at work, and you're going to have a meeting with them one-on-one with this person, and you are like dreading it, right? Thankfully now we're all on Zoom, right? Versus having to sit in an office with somebody probably. But let's say that you are kind of dreading this meeting. Now, you got plenty of time to think about it, right? All those loops go through your head. Oh my gosh, it's gonna suck. This person's a jerk. I'm not sure what I'm gonna say, or all of these things going around, and you're probably wondering, how the heck is this gonna work out? Well, if you have a sunny personality and you have a positive outlook, chances are you are going to feel like, all right, I can do this. I got this. I'm confident about myself. I know we can work this out, right? So what if you're not? What if your personality isn't all that sunny right now? Maybe you've run into some difficulty during all of this pandemic stuff going on. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're a bad person, but you may just be in a negative thought pattern right now because you've had some undesirable things happen to you. All right, so let's say your personality's not all that sunny. Now you got a blindfold on you, and you're holding the push pin with a tail on it, and you're going around in your head, dizzy, 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 dizzy. How's this going to end? What's going to happen? How's this going to work out? Am I going to get fired? All of these things going on, right? If you're in the negative personality loop right now, chances are you're going to pull up some things that aren't all that desirable. Now, you're nice and dizzy and you're visualizing this stuff. Now, where are you going to pin that tail, right? You're probably over here or over here or over here, because you're making assumptions that you don't really want, right? You don't want them. You don't want to fight with anybody, do you? No. And so just because we have been trained for so long to expect that negative outcome, it's pretty common for us to be pinning the tail on all the different parts of the ass that you don't want to experience. So what we want to do here is we want to change our thought patterns before we start visualizing, so that even if we're going around in circles and things are just kind of weird in our life right now, we can still find even just one possibility that's positive, right? So, in all honesty, there's a bunch of possibilities that could hit that donkey right on the ass in the right place, right? There isn't just one, but all I want you to try and think of is just one, right? So let's say you're like, all right, this is going to work out. We're going to have a good meeting. We're going to figure it out. This person's going to have this to say. I'm going to have this to say. I'm going to be a mature adult about it and not let all of my other personal things that are in my life get in the way of this conversation, right? So if you can just get to that point, just get to that point and focus on nothing else. And when you start to, when your mind starts to wander, I want you to think of the ass. I want you to think of the ass. And I want you to ask yourself, am I pinning the tail on the donkey? Huh? Or am I like way off? I was that kid that was like way over there, like 2 feet away from the poster. Of course, you know, everybody's laughing and all that good stuff, but when you're kids, who cares, right? So I want you to, every time you start thinking about this upcoming meeting, I want you to ask yourself, am I pinning the tail on the donkey? You can say ass if you want, because if you do and it makes you laugh, that's even better, right? That puts you in a frequency of allowance and acceptance and a little bit of, okay, I'm kind of laughing at myself, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? This is all of these things that we're going through are temporary. Change is imminent all the time on earth. It's a guarantee, right? It's only when we try to keep things the same that we really start running into those walls, or pinning the tail 3 feet off the poster, or worse, hitting one of the guests at your party. Right? With that push pin. Now, what would that analogy be? That would be you bringing other people into your drama. It's not necessary anymore. Right. You're wanting positivity in your life now. And so bringing other people into your drama, knowing now what you know is that what you send out comes back to you. You don't even want it. Your guests can stand over there with their punch while you're going around in circles pinning the tail on the donkey. I know I'm kind of hammering this in, but it's such a simple concept. It's such an easy thing to do. And the whole fact that you're giving yourself an image to remind yourself of what you're doing is very powerful, all right? It extends beyond just telling yourself, I can do this, I can do this. Now you've associated an image with this situation, and hopefully a funny image, right? And their asses are always bony. I had a donkey, I had an ass, and her ass was not that bony. But make it bony, make it whatever makes you laugh, so that anytime your thoughts start moving away from that center point, you can remind yourself that it does you no good to pin the tail way over there. So just something for you to try next time you are maybe not looking forward to something that you would like to look forward to, and you're in that negative thought loop of, oh crap, what's gonna happen? Okay? So pin the tail on the donkey right where it's supposed to go, and know that there are more than one fantastic outcomes for whatever it is that you may be dreading, okay? There's always more than one, and all you got to do is think of one, because the universe has plenty of other ones that will, if you're aiming in a positive direction, are going to bring you where you want to go. So don't forget, always be yourself all the time. Love.